Hi guys, welcome to another video. My name is Khaled the Giant, and today we're going to talk about why you think Sorcerer sucks. Again, if you guys find this video entertaining or helpful, please feel free to leave a like, drop a comment, and why not subscribe? You can always unsubscribe at any time, and turn on the bell notifications so you can be notified next time I go live. Today we're going to really be talking about why you think the Sorcerer class sucks. Again, before this beta, the last two betas, prior to the server slam, Sorcerer was very strong. Its abilities were very potent, it was very good at ad clear, and it even had some really good single target DPS. Now what they did was, it's not that they nerfed the class so that it wouldn't be strong, they just toned it down so it's just more in line, because their goal with all 5 classes is to get them all in a spot where they all feel good, and where one class isn't really like meta. Unfortunately, they failed on the meta part because right now it seems like Rogue and Barbarian and potentially Druid are going to be pretty meta. So, again, it's not a bad thing, it's a good thing, but they're not so strong that like Sorc can't keep up. Where Sorc is good, other classes struggle, and that's kind of how the circle really should go. It should be like, this class is good at this, but this one's bad, and just a good way to kind of keep counters going and stuff like that. But back on the topic of why you think the Sorcerer sucks. A lot of people were into Sorcerer for one skill and one skill alone, Hydra. Hydra took a massive 60% damage nerf, which affected its impact damage as well as its overall DPS. But honestly, if you've seen Hydra, it still does really good. If you build into Flame, you build into and invest time, and even just honestly throwing it on the build as a random ability, it puts in work. And especially if you pair it with the Fireball enchantment, it is very good and has very good ad clear potential on its own. The problem was prior that Hydra was just so good that you could just throw it and then just run around and it would kill everything. And obviously they don't want the Sorc to be played that way, which I agree with. Sorcerer is a class that really should be played with the character being mobile, casting abilities, doing combos. Like, you're supposed to be a battle mage, so just throwing an ability and walking around, that's very boring. Like, that's why I will never, that's why I don't want to say never, but that's why you probably won't see me really ever using Hydra, because I just think it's kind of a boring ability. You just throw it and it does the work for you. I want to be engaging while I play. I want to feel like, man, I really killed that guy, not an ability killed that guy. Now, the reason why, again, you think Sorcerer sucks, another reason, is because Sorcerer now requires kind of an investment. And what I mean by investment is it's going to require you to really pick a specialization and kind of develop that specialization. Before, a lot of the skills were very just dominant, so you could actually run a build with like a lightning, fire, frost, and you would be good. Like, you could pick a damage type from each and they were all doing good. But now, with the nerfs that this class received, they really want you to like kind of spec into that fantasy. Like, hey, do I want to be a pyromancer? Hey, do I want to be a frost mage? Hey, do I want to be a lightning mage? And I think that mechanic is very cool. And I think that's how Sorc should be played. I'm not someone who is against, like, let's say hybrid builds. I think hybrid builds are cool. But I think with the Sorcerer, you need to find yourself a theme. And if you invest in that theme, whether it be fire, whether it be lightning, whether it be frost, you're going to do much, much better. And another reason why you also may not be liking Sorcerer right now is Sorcerer now has really become a combo class. It wasn't like before where you could just use one ability the whole time and it would carry you. You have to learn setup. You have to learn, okay, hey, how do I get my enemies together? How do I get them controlled, and how do I kill them? So that's where the setup comes in first. So for my frost build, right, what I do, my setup is I'll drop a frost nova, then I'll drop a blizzard, and then I'll ice shard. And with ice shard, I have it enchanted where it will ricochet off my targets when they're frozen, which I believe is the greater one. So it'll ricochet off frozen targets, and then with having ice armor, while I have a barrier up, it's going to treat all enemies that are frozen from the passive right here. So that's kind of where that synergy comes in, and that's how you have to really build the Sorcerer now. Before, people were just using Hydra, charged bolts, and just basically skills from everywhere, and just kind of having this this Sorc that didn't really have an identity other than just, hey, what are the best damage abilities? That's what I'm gonna use. But now I think Sorc's in a great spot, and it's all about setup. And that's probably the best advice that I can really give you guys is when you play Sorcerer come launch, think of a way to, okay, what do I want to do? What is my fantasy? Do I want to be a pyromancer? Do I want to be a frost mage? Do I want to cast lightning? And really take the time to invest. Again, during the server slam, we really didn't get to see like a lot of the passives to like kind of mess with our class. And as you get to like mastery, this is where like the real passives begin, like increased barrier for ice. You know, you deal increased damage while you're healthy, which again for Sorcerer guys, this is going to be nuts. With Sorcerer, it's very important that you keep your shields up at all times. These shields are your class identity. This is the thing that makes you like so unique compared to other classes. Besides the fact that we master the elements as a Sorcerer, our ability to like make ourselves tanky through shields, this is it, you know. And for example, increased critical strike damage, you know, increased lucky hit for mobilized targets, you know, and then with lightning, increased critical strikes with shock skills, you know. Every time you send an enemy, you deal 72 to 88 lightning damage. Again, this will scale and it'll go more. Upon absorbing crackling energy, you get mana. So like this is where the specialization begins. That's why when you're playing this class, you really need to pick a setup. You need to think like that. You need to think, what is my build and what skills can I use to kind of get the ball rolling. Your goal is to kill things fast. It's not about having the most damaging abilities and putting them on the bar. You need to have flow, and that flow is going to make you a better player. That's the thing a lot of people don't understand is a lot of you guys will watch YouTube videos, watch content creators, they'll make a build and then you guys will go and run with that, but you'll never really learn and get good at the game. And that's kind of something that I really want to do for you guys as a up and coming content creator, is kind of show you guys good builds, but also get you guys thinking, because that's the fun. Like that's something that I really enjoy about making content, is coming up with an idea, sharing it with people, hearing feedback, and just hearing even better alternatives to what I've been using this whole time. You guys taking the time to be independent and learn how to make your own build is very important, and it's going to help you have a lot more fun in the game. If you're just going through this game, if I make a build and you copy it, like great, I'm glad that you like it, and I'm glad that it's helping you get through content that you might be struggling with. But always watch the videos that, let's say, I make or that another content creator makes, and use their build, and then think, okay, how can I make it better? What could I try differently? Hey, this guy came up with this setup. What if I tried to replicate this with fire? What if I tried to replicate this with shock? And think, okay, what kind of skills can I combine to really make a synergistic setup to deal with massive DPS? And that's really where you guys will perform and where you guys will become better players. At the end of the day, that should be your goal when playing any type of ARPG, MMO, PvP, competitive game. Your goal should be, how do I get better? Because if you take the time to invest some time and effort into yourself in terms of like applying it to the game, right? And you actually see yourself get better over time, you're gonna love the game more. You're gonna have more of a good time, and you're gonna feel confident going into end game content. You're not gonna be thinking like, oh, I don't know what I'm doing. I feel helpless. I need to run to YouTube. Again, obviously, you know, feel free to come watch my videos. You know, that's gonna help me out if you guys are struggling. So of course, definitely come check me out. Definitely go check out your other content creators as well. But anyway, guys, that's gonna be a wrap on the video. I hope this helped you. Remember, Sorcerer does not suck. They just balance the class to make it in a spot where it's in line with the other ones, not overperforming just right. And also remember, it's all about setup for the Sorcerer. It's all about combos. It's all about timing. You just need to get a flow going, a pattern going, when to cast abilities in what order. You master that, you're gonna love the Sorcerer. Thank you guys so much. Remember, if you enjoyed it, please like, comment, and subscribe, and ring the bell. And remember, you can always unsubscribe at any time, so why not? Anyway, guys, I will catch you guys all later. Thank you all so much for coming and watching. Peace out.